Hi guys, today I'm going to try and adopt the most notorious and feared bot on chess.com. The one which everyone demands on my channel, Nelson. He is a 1300, but he's highly aggressive if you've not heard of him, guys. I know most of you have. So I've set up 10 games, 10 tabs, in all with different openings. 5 with white, 5 with black. I think you can see the top right, the name of each of the opening. So yeah, I've not done the openings with black, but I've set up the ones with white ready to go. So in this first one, we've got a King's Pawn opening. And with Nelson, you've just got to find a way to try and develop with tempo against his queen when he starts getting aggressive. So like, here we can hit the queen. It's very nice. And then I guess just get developed maybe here. I mean, that's just a free pawn that also hits the queen. Pretty nice. We've got this check, and if here we get this little tactic, opens up his king, but then they can go there, and have I got 2 pieces hanging at that point? Let's reinforce the knight, then I might think about going for this. We just slide back. This pawn is fine. We can take this. Well, let's take. Let's do this because it leads to our idea, opening things up, and they just give us a piece. Okay, we're going to take it, and now we're up material. Let's try and go for this idea, but we can't because we don't win this pawn at the end. This does hit the queen, though. So let's go for that. We're also hitting this square. And after this, I don't know how they defend that key square here. Oh, they've got that. Didn't see the bishop there. Queen comes in, but we're fine. We block there. And I'll line another, just get another attacker on this pawn. Now if this, we win a pawn, but then we get this tactic skewering my king and queen. That would not be good. So we're up a little bit of material. And now I think we can grab this. Yeah, they've got this awkward pin though. But then could we go check here and... Nah. I'm just going to line another attacker up here. I don't mind about the double pawns. We're up enough material to not worry about that. And they're trying to get a queen trade. It's very odd. Nelson's down material and has this weakness. I don't know if you know, guys, but Nelson was nerfed. He used to never trade queens and just be super aggressive. But now he does willingly trade queens, and it makes him much easier to beat. We're going to give up this horrible double pawn. We're not worried. Do we want to give up this pawn, though? Have we got a good way to defend it? We got this. Just centralizing the knight. Let's trade. And now just put the knight on a safe defended square. Yeah, we're gonna get our rook on an open file, threatening the mate, so they cannot take this pawn. And let's hit this bishop now. See if they want to take this pawn. Yeah, they do, but we can slide over here. We can also just start pushing our pawn. It's probably the quickest way to clean this up, guys. Take that. I'm sort of skewered, but not really. And just come back. Like that. Oh, are they gonna... Well, we can just take there, though. And what is Nelson doing now? A little bit confused. We got this. They can give us double pawns. We've got this winning a pawn. Do they have anything there? Let's win the pawn. And then maybe we can push this guy as quickest. Check here. Do we get a fork? I'm trying to set up some sort of fork in my head. This. Let's throw in a check, just in case Nelson goes to like a square where I can fork him. So this, they take me... Let's start pushing this pawn. It's nice that the rook can't come to this square. And now I check and we can push one more. So now we've got this check, which is a fork, gets rid of a piece. Let's take it. And now they are threatening this piece. Let's go back, and then there's no mate. We can just come here. And now push this pawn. The sacred pass pawn is coming. We can maybe give a check in order to promote. So check, promote. And this should be a nice little cleanup job, guys. We come out with the king. And just do the king and rook mate is probably quickest. So like that. Cut off the king's squares. There's no stalemate. He's got this pawn push. We're bringing a rook. Do we need to worry about that pawn? Maybe we should. Maybe we should just take it. I don't want anything to happen. I was thinking about letting it promote and, you know, mate him anyway. But so cut the king off. Let's just let him take and bring the king. So now when the kings are in opposition like that, that's when you push. They've got to move. They've got that there. Here they have got to move. But this pawn's sort of getting in our way. I'm just going to get it out of the way. Free move to the mate. Very nice. So that was beating Nelson with e4, guys. In the next one, we are going to beat him with the queen's pawn. So let's go for like a more of a queen's gambit structure. We're going for this weird Horowitz defense. So this hits the queen and develops and protects the pawn in the center, which is nice. It is already defended, so we could hit the queen again, but I think I'd rather develop a little pawn, hit the queen. And now, if here we can develop the bishop with tempo. We don't mind the double pawns in this structure here. Like in Queen's Gambit structures, we quite like it, because if push, we undouble. And they normally want to play this push at some point. Let's play this pawn up, and then we can get the bishop out, because otherwise we would have hung this pawn on g2. Let's hit the queen, exceeding danger level. Okay. We'll take that guy. And now, let's sack, because it opens the game up. We get 2 pawns for the piece. And we should be pretty happy. This, just to open up my bishop. Attack the pin piece in front of the king. Remove that. This should be a much quicker game, guys. So this cuts the king off. And now, how do we threaten the mate? Is this just is a mate threat on here? Develop the knight to defend. So we hit the knight. They have to take. And then castle's here. They can take this pawn with check, but we can castle this way. And then come in with this check. Once we get another piece in, guys, we're very happy. I mean, I'm up a queen, so I can just sack the rook. And they've not got a check. That bishop was pretty strong, actually, threatening this pawn. That light square bishop. Let's check, trade up, force a trade of the rooks. And we're still always threatening mate on this square. So they can't move the knight. So we hit the knight, therefore. Bang, bang. And they could have tried to escape with the king, but then we'd have had the pawn to deliver mate with the queen. So that's game 2. So in game 3, we got the English opening, to which they reply with the Anglo-Scandinavian defense. Never played these lines, guys, so it's good me learning a little bit of theory in these lines, or testing out new ideas. So I'm going to take towards the center like you would sort of in the Sicilian, because the English is sort of like the opposite of a Sicilian, right? I'm just going to... I could do this. Oh, I can now. Before the knight moved, there was this idea of if here, they can take that pawn. Because if I recapture, they take the rook. But now I can just hit the queen and start expanding. And put a pawn in the center. Again, hitting the queen. 2 pawns in the center. Very, very nice looking position for me. We take... I think we help them. Let's close things off a little bit. But we don't want to close things off too much. We want the game to go pretty quick. Still got 7 more games to go, guys. Let me know what you're thinking of this concept. This video concept. So they're hitting this. So I do want to open things up. Let's do that first. Gives them an isolated pawn. I know it isolates my pawns as well, but this pawn is weak and pinned. So if this, you can't take it. And now they're hitting this pawn, so maybe we develop like that. Although they do have 2 attackers on this pawn. Let's go here. This hits the queen, this hits the knight. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm not winning. I mean, this is even tempting. Takes, and I get the rook with check here, and I get a rook and a knight for the queen. Interesting. Here, what do they get there? That looks very solid. Is that knight not just trapped? Yeah. I'm loving this light square bishop. I'd like to open up this pawn towards their rook. And now we've got a very open position, but it's quite a high risk position, guys. So I'm almost wanting to try and trade queens and de-risk, but then they get this pawn. What would I get then? I need to start trying to get some pieces out. Like, I'm going to put queen here to just oppose their queen in defending both pawns. So they're adding pressure here, so I can add defense. They go for the trade, but it isn't good, is it? Oh, bishop takes, yeah. If pawn takes, I'd get a free rook. But we're up material here, so let's try and trade off this bishop. They might do it so then they can win this pawn at the end. They don't. I'm going to go after this pawn. Have they got a check? I think I'm fine. We can go like this. If takes, I take their pawn, but then they take mine. This because the pawn is pinned, this pawn here. This centralize the knight or just castles? Yeah, I like castles. This is the rook. They take, I can take, and everything's defended. That looks to clarify things. Also centralizing the knight. Okay, threatening this. So they step back, centralize the knight, maybe try and get this trade of the knights. Here. Takes, take. Oh, but there's a pin. That could have gone nasty, couldn't it? So if this, they've got reveal attacks on my king. I sort of want to just step out. Gee, that's a very toxic move, isn't it? Yeah. This, they've got... What reveal attacks have they actually got? They've got this. I'm only up 2 points of material, so if this would win the exchange with check, winning the rook. Oh, that's a tricky move, that rook move there. Yeah, I didn't see this potential alignment issue. Playing quick. What do I do? This? That's sort of tactical defense. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I was thinking takes, and I get the fork, winning the rook. But of course, the capture comes with check. But But this still sort of, the idea sort of works still. They take, I win the rook. We're also hitting the knight now, but they're up 1 point. But then they just give us a knight. That's what I mean, guys. Get Nelson into an end game, and you'll be very happy. So we're up material now. So if they take the pawn, we would have forked the king and the rook. Now we can just keep checking the king until we can sort of win something out of it. We'll go after this pawn. And this pawn at the same time. Creating double threats, guys, is always good. And now, well, this one. Yeah, there's no more checks. I'm going to win this pawn and promote. Oh, they just give away a rook. All right, this should be pretty quick now, guys. We're going to get a rook to the edge of the board. Take that. And deliver a cheeky little ladder. Like bosh bosh. So that was the English, guys. Game 3. So moving on. We have got... What is this? The birds. Okay, this is a tricky little kingside opening, which Nelson is going to have a lot of fun in trying to attack. I've got to be a bit careful. This isn't the best opening, the birds. So this hits the queen, which we should generally do. This creates an alignment issue. So now we've got check. Winning the queen. We like that. A very quick win there. And then Nelson doesn't even recapture. So we just slide back. Yeah, very easy win there against Nelson. Just missing that little tactical idea. If castle's here, are they going to start attacking? I think we're all right. Still got to be careful. He's always got some tricks up his sleeve, as old Nelson. So we're going to... how do we attack quickest? Well, let's just try and open up everything. Open up our own king side. We don't care. But first, let's get this so the queen covers this square, supporting this pawn expansion. They're hitting this weak pawn. I don't really want them to grab that pawn, because it just gives them a very active bishop. Why don't we hit this knight, see where they want to go? In fact, it doesn't have many squares. It can go here. All right, let's take the free piece. Okay, so they're getting a little bit active with these bishops, which I'm a bit scared of, but you know what? Let's just ignore it and go for the jugular, guys. Exceeding danger level to whatever they're thinking. We're just going to go here. Hit the bishop. Just noting the king and queen are on the same diagonal. So we've got a piece hanging. If we could move the knight and leave another one of their pieces hanging, we'd be happy, but I don't think we can. This they take. So if takes, I think we're just bringing in the queen. Okay, we take. This, I don't know what their threat is. All I'm looking for is checks, guys, because we've got such a forcing thing with the queen rook battery. This is an alignment issue, I'm just noting. But I mean, if check, we can start to trade off, but winning this pawn hitting the bishop looks nice. This is probably more forcing, isn't it? Trading. Have we got any follow-up checks? I don't think so. This square looks like a jolly old square for our queen, giving us a little revealed attack. And we can push this pawn and also take this. If this pushes, it does look a little bit annoying, so I'm going to actually take with the king and just hit the bishop. Bishop can take. Oh, nice pass pawn. What? So if we go take, push, they can't stop my pawn. King wasn't there that could push this pawn in order to end with the bishop. But right, so if this push, they can't defend, can they? They can't defend the pawn. it would just promote. That's a cheeky little tactic there, guys. So this, in the bishop, and then we come back. Involve, try and get the pieces involved now. This king move, just to add pressure here. Also opening up the bishop. Now bringing the bishop out to try and involve another piece. Danger levels, guys. Ignoring the attack on the queen. And now, where's the checkmate? This, they defend. Let's just get the queen out of danger. Maybe pile some pressure here. Yeah, let's start off with a check. See what we can muster. And that's a gorgeous little checkmate with the bishop there. Oh, didn't realize that was checkmate, guys. To be honest, so we've got a reti, through which I think you go like this, and then even that sometimes. Right, what is this? Game number 4. It's getting a bit tense, you know. So we've been in this sort of line before, but let's try and mix it up. Do something a bit different. Let's go hit the queen like this. And then, again, we want to pressure this square. This. Try that, and then get the queen out here. It looks fancy. Or this. Oh, but now this, and there's just a lot of pieces hanging. Yeah, I was thinking, you know, if pawn takes, we take the rook. It was a bit too fancy, I'll be honest. But this, they take, we take their queen, they take, we get. What do we get? But we've still got this idea as if they take, we take the rook. So they're going after this. Yeah, and we should. I think we should have just got castled. Let's do that. Let's just get castled. We'll give up this pawn. We're just going to go for a big attack. If we move the knight, we're now starting to apply some pressure to this square. If this takes, do we get anything there? We get revealed mischief. We get this within the. Let's go for this. Because we get revealed attacks. It's going to lead to good stuff. We at least win a knight if we want it. Is there anything better than a knight? There's this. There's a rook. But honestly, a knight might be better than a rook. Because if we take this rook, our knight is most likely not going to get out of there. Unless we do this. The queen supporting the knight's escape. Whereas if this, we get a knight for free. And we get our knight safe. But I'm going to go for the more dynamic, dangerous looking option. Ooh. So there's this, but they take. Love to get queen in here, maybe. I don't see how they attack me. Well, what was I thinking? Well, the whole thinking was to win this rook. So let's win the rook. Yeah, so that stops the queen coming in. That's a good move. So we come back here. Maybe this. I sort of wasn't even thinking about the rook. I don't think it matters at this point. We've got this check to win that knight if we want it, but this knight is sort of so irrelevant to our attack. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, let's take the knight. Take the pawn. I'd like to come to this square threat here, but it is defended twice. Let's win the knight, and then maybe rook here. This seems nice. It's an outpost square for the bishop. That's a free piece. They're not? No. No, they win it back. They must win it back somehow. Okay, here. And we're just threatening to get the knight out now. That's just another free piece. Now, see what I mean, guys? Nelson, he just starts to give them away later on. So this to defend the mate. They've not got a way of attacking my queen. My queen is a... I'm just saying that. My queen's very important right now, defending the mate. So just did a quick scan. Can they attack my queen? Maybe this is a fork square trying to simplify. It still is. This is still a fork. So let's retreat the bishop, try and enable this fork. I think probably safer to keep the rook on the back rank. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't go bishop here. That looks a bit annoying. But we've got this, hitting the queen. And how do we... I'd like to get the queens off the bogs. They were looking a little bit scary. So this hits the queen wherever we move the knight. This. Do we win the queen? No. So we've not really got any good revealed attacks. This. They all attack the queen with the bishop, but none of them really do much. Could I somehow deflect the queen somewhere? This takes. That looks interesting. I'm a bit scared. I don't know. This... Here, I don't get a way to hit the queen. What am I talking about with this move? They take it. It's no longer a revealed attack. With the bishop, because the queen's moved. Alright, what am I saying? Right, 4 games in. Come on, we've got a long way to go. So this double hits the queen and also threatens this. But they could just go take. Because if I take their queen, they take my queen. There should be something in this position, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just going to play a slow move, see if Nelson hangs himself. This is just nice because it gets rid of any mate threats in the future. Now, this? I don't know. Don't know what to play right now. This is the queen. Try that. Maybe pivot here. Hit the queen again. They offer a queen trade, so let's definitely take it because we're just up material. Now, where is the win here? This square is covered. But this, they can maybe sack, but it doesn't do much. And now their pieces are pretty bad. I'm going to start to bring the king, and then I can maybe trap this bishop. Ooh, let's go rook behind the pawn. And then this. Yeah, let's just bring the king. Push these pawns. I'd love to trade a piece, though. It's getting a bit annoying. How do we defend this pawn? Don't think we can. Let's hit this bishop. It's really annoying the way it's covering the square. So now we can start to break out. All right, now we can get this moving. We're a lot happier. They're targeting this pawn, so we push the king. Targeting it twice, so we've got to defend. Nelson throwing in some clutch moves here, just putting on the pressure a little bit. Come back. Bishop has an escape. This pivot looks good. They take my pawn, I take theirs. Looks like a nice square for my bishop. So they're going to double my structure, but that simplifies things a lot. So let's bring the king, defend this pawn. Can come around this way. The free pawn. We grab those. Now Nelson doesn't... The computer doesn't know what to do now. I think you've got to calculate too deep for Nelson to find any sort of good move here. I just don't think there is a good move in the position. I'm gonna go like that. Maybe this, just to kill any effect that this rook has. And then which pawn do we push? Let's give a check. Maybe we can just threaten to mate Nelson. Like that. Let's just mate. Okay, so now game number 5. Oh, 6. 6. So we're starting to move on to the black pieces. So with the black pieces, I'm going to go bang with one game. Next game, I'm going to go Sicilian. Next one, I'm going to go Scandi. Next one, I'm going to go whatever that is. And then next one, I'll go a fianchetto position. So, game number 1 with the black pieces, guys. In fact, should we do this in a separate video? Adopting Nelson part 2. Yeah, I think I will. I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.